Welcome to It's Our Time with Scott Ryan. I am Scott Ryan. And today, the truth is out there and in here. I have my maybe co-host. Are you my co-host today or
Yeah,
are you my guest?
both.
She's a co-host and a guest playing double duty. It's Tessa from the Broads Next Door podcast. Welcome to the show or welcome me to the show. I don't know.
Thanks for having me.
I mean, not since Kramer guested on Mad About You has there been a more exciting crossover than this. So
Right.
we are here to talk about the new X-Files movie that's the old X-Files movie that was the crappy X-Files movie, and I don't even know what it's called. What's the new name?
I think it's I Want to Believe, but it's the Frankenstein Doctor.
That's what it's called, The Frankenstein Doctor?
There's a name.
Yeah, it looks ridiculous. But we are going to talk about this. It just debuted on Hulu or Disney Plus. We also don't know which of those because nobody knows names anymore. It's probably X-Files Max Plus. We don't even know. And Tessa and I have not discussed one thing. I have no idea what she thought of the movie. She doesn't know what I thought, and we're just going to discuss. Let's jump right in. Tessa, what did you think of the movie?
Well, it's been a while since I saw the first original one, which I gotta say, I barely remember. But it seemed like on this watch of the director's cut, there did seem to be some scenes that happened where I was like, wait, wasn't there supposed to be another scene attached to this? Isn't there more that we know? I had like vague memories coming up of just other things that happened that weren't existing in this version. How about you?
So, this is one of my favorite stories that I love to tell. Me and my friend Renee went to see the X-Files movie in the theater the day it came out back in 2008. And we both loved X-Files. And we saw the movie and we're walking out. And I said, it was good. And she said, yeah. And I said, I mean, it was okay. And she said, yeah. And I said, I mean, it had some problems. And she said, it did. And I said, it was horrible. And she said, it was awful. I didn't want to say anything. I said, me either. It was horrible. And it was just so fun how we tried to be positive, and then the truth came out. But watching it this time, I liked it.
I liked it too. I enjoyed it. It was nice to have things cut down a little bit from, the typical ways we remember the story kind of trailing off. But it did leave like some holes, I feel like, just in the sense of like, wasn't there supposed to be another scene there? And I definitely felt like that, vague memory popping through for some spots.
Yeah, I mean, it has problems. There's no way around that it has problems. But the first time I saw it, it was so bad. I'm not sure I ever watched it again. So it really didn't, I didn't remember it at all.
Yeah.
So I didn't feel that way. So you felt that in your mind, you thought something was missing?
Just for like a couple of specific scenes, which we could wait to get into if we want to ease
No,
into it here a little. Like
what did you see that missed?
there's like a scene where Mulder and Scully are in bed together
Well,
and
that happened in the
everything.
movie.
Yeah, I know it happened, but everything leading up to that that explains that I felt like was missing. Like so much of their relationship and the things that they were going through together was taken out, which I totally get why Chris Carter would do that. He probably wanted to focus more on the mystery and the crime and the, everything that was unfolding with the killer. So maybe he wanted to take away some of that extra fluff around their relationship because that was always a thing that was being pushed in the series that he didn't like, you know?
Right.
And I see that, but I just felt like some things were like, okay, well, now they're laying in bed together and Mulder's shaving his beard. Like, where did that come from? And then also like stuff like with Samantha and Mulder's sister. They show like one zoom in on her picture when he's looking at things. But I feel like I remember there being a lot more connected to that story coming up.
Well, what I remember is that they made Mulder a sad sack in the
Yeah.
movie. And I just thought the whole movie was like, ugh. And they seemed to remove that. Mulder
Yeah,
was
that was
not a
pretty removed.
sad sack.
Yeah. But we still don't really find out why he's like on a list for the FBI, do we? I don't think we do.
No,
Yeah.
no. And I'm assuming it happened from the last episode of The X-Files.
I guess so.
But you're right, they got rid of that stuff. And so what I did when the movie was over, I walked over to my computer and I had the second X-Files on the computer because I was going to watch it because I had just done a rewatch kind of when we met. I was just finishing X-Files and I was going to watch the second movie. But then I heard this was coming out, so I never did. So I just grabbed the cursor and I went across the whole movie after watching it. And nothing popped out. There wasn't like some scene that I was like, whoa, that's new,
Yeah.
except the kiss. The
Hmm.
kiss at the end is the big thing. I think he just tightened every
Yeah.
scene,
I
and
think it
that's why it plays better.
I think it was actually like 6 minutes shorter or something like that. So
Yeah.
it definitely played better. The mystery was way more of the focus. It was a lot darker. There was a lot more like sort of gore than I remember too, but like it wasn't anything too overwhelming or uncalled for. It was just kind of like more visuals
Yeah.
without
But
Frankenstein.
here's my number one note. Why separate Mulder and Scully for so much of the movie? Now, in the series, we know why they separated them because they needed to give the other actor a time off because they're doing 22 to 24 episodes a year. And to give David Duchovny a break, you got to have Jillian. This is one movie. Why? I mean, they
Yeah.
were hardly in it together. That was a
They were.
strange idea.
They were arguing when they were together too.
Yeah, there's very little of what we love about Mulder and Scully. I also don't love I'm not coming back in a movie. Like whenever that happens in a movie, it's done because we know they're coming back. Why are you spending all that time
Yeah.
having, Superman say, "Oh, I'm not putting the cape on this time," and then he's putting the cape on. So those were bad decisions in the movie that you can't fix with editing. But that being said, there was something that it played well for me. I
Yeah.
liked that Scully was a doctor and she had a
Yeah.
doctor case and she was doing something. How'd you feel about Scully? Let's just talk about the Scully part of it.
I just love her so much. So I was really fine with it. It makes sense that she would just want to like, become a doctor, just take care of the children
Mhm.
later after everything. I see why she pushed back and why she's like, I don't do this anymore. It does make sense. It fits for me. And like she's got a lot of other stuff going on being a doctor and helping people. And it's interesting how they bring like her whole faith into play and how this case is kind of pressing on that. But I mean, I think I said this to you, but if I had a nickel for every time somebody said, well, you're not a mother or you'd understand to Scully, I'd be dead. So.
Right. Right. They have done that quite a bit. And I actually don't remember because the other thing I wrote down is that, that she says she can't look into the darkness anymore. And
Hmm.
that's why she's being this doctor and trying to save this kid,
Kind of
which
still
for,
is.
so how did she come back in the new X-Files? Because I don't remember that. I thought when they came back, they just were working there. I don't remember the first episode
Yeah,
them
I kind of
bringing them back.
forget like how they came back. I know it was they were both in the same city together and they were like it kind of seemed like they were just meeting up and then just peculiar things started coming about that they needed to investigate and then there were things that were related to her kid that they were concerned about and investigating.
But weren't they FBI agents?
I feel like Mulder was, but she wasn't. I don't know about that though. Don't quote me on it, but I think that that could have been the
Because
scenario.
I thought that was sort of strange. Because I don't remember that. I
I need
haven't
to
rewatched
rewatch
this.
that episode. I mean, that season specifically. I'm doing a rewatch right now, but I'm only like almost done with season four. So I'm almost up to the first movie through in the middle of five and six, I think. I think that's
The
what I'm.
other thing that I wrote down is there is a lot of repeating dialogue in that
Yeah,
movie.
yeah, there was definitely a few
And
things.
I don't know if it was an editing thing, but they did it a lot. So I'm sort of making this up, but Amanda Pete, when they're out in the woods, let's say. So Amanda Pete might say, there's a tree up there. There's a tree up there. There's a tree up there. They did it so many times in the movie. Whenever there was like with all the people,
Yeah.
we need a shovel. We need a shovel. We need a shovel. I just noticed it throughout the movie and I'm like, is this how he got around because he's taking things out? But throughout the entire movie, if you watch it again, people at home, do a little count. How many times people repeat the same dialogue three
There was
times
a
in a
couple
row?
things I think that Exhibit said too that were repeated for sure. I
Yeah, they
noticed
just kept
it.
saying the same thing over again. And
Which
I don't know if it was
choice?
if that was the way the first time. I don't know.
Yeah.
Um,
I liked Amanda Peet in it though. But there was like in the first one, I think there was actually a lot more like tension between Amanda Peet and Duchovny in the original. I feel like there was little things that happened with their characters and that was just completely cut out for this.
and since you are in a season four and you've been watching Darren Morgan episodes, did you happen to notice that the guy who's in every single Darren Morgan episode was also in the X-Files movie?
Which one?
The
No, I
guy,
didn't.
he's the Frankenstein guy, the actual guy
Okay,
who's
that's the guy.
doing
All
the
right.
thing. He's in every single Darren Morgan episode. His name is
Wow.
Alex something.
Oh, that's
Or
great. I didn't
something.
catch that.
Again, if we were if this show gets picked up, we'll start doing research. But until then, we're not. But he plays he's one of the psychics in Clyde Brickman, which I love that they did
Right.
a Clyde Brickman mention.
Yeah, they did. Yeah.
That made me happy.
Mm. With
What'd you think
Father
about
Denham.
Skinner?
Oh, the big wig from the FBI. I loved that line about him. That was great. They're like, yeah, just talk to some bigwig from the FBI. What's his name? Well, you know. I thought that was great. It was kind of funny how he just like shows up too. Scully's like, oh, gotta call him in. This is serious now. We can't find Mulder. The only guy that's gonna help me is Walter. And then he's
I
saying,
wish it was more connected to the X-Files. That was the other note I wrote down. No Cancer Man, no Doggett. Why
yeah,
couldn't Doggett be one of the FBI guys? Why
that was like a
couldn't
phone call.
right, or but I
Tell
mean, why did we need
yeah.
Amanda Pete and not have, I want to call her Ali Sheedy so bad, but that's not her name. Who's the girl, the other girl? Again, we're gonna do research when we
Oh,
get
she
picked up,
does
but
look like Ali Sheedy. That's a good call.
I know,
Uh,
but what's her name? It's the girl from the X-Files season
I don't think
7 or
that she's
9.
in too many things.
No,
Queen
she's in a movie
Women,
called Beautiful Girls, and I love her in it.
really? I just
I'm
have,
Googling. You're making me Google. Everyone at home, have a sip of your drink and let me just look up Beautiful Girls cast.
she does look,
Annabeth Gish.
yeah, she does look a lot like Ali Sheedy though.
Why not have Annabeth Gish instead of uh, Amanda Peet?
Yeah,
Did we need it to be Amanda Peet? Why not have that sort of bothered me. I would have liked more connection to the X-Files. What is your opinion about the amount of connection to the TV show?
yeah, it was, I mean, it did seem like a little out of left field and like they're kind of reaching to connect it by just, having Father Joe, he's the psychic pedophile priest and they researched other X-Files that related to this one. So that's how they brought it up.
Right.
Really was just being like, "Oh, well, it's kind of like this that already happened." But it did seem like a bit of a reach and like there wasn't a lot of callbacks beyond just things that felt a little bit forced.
Hmm.
But it was like they were trying to just create their whole this whole own story that both like touched on people's faith and the idea of faith and the Christianity influence there, but like also went to after like murder and something eerie and weird and
Right.
Frankenstein.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. Um, so here now, are we ready to do the controversial part? Do you think our audiences can they handle this?
Well, I don't even know
I
what
know you
the
don't. I'm
controversial
about to get
part
controversial. Here we go.
is.
Okay, here's why I think I liked this movie this time. Because in 2008, when it first came out, I wouldn't have noticed this. I wouldn't have cared because we didn't live in this time period. But watching this movie in 2026, the overall point of this movie is forgiving a priest for sexually abusing children. We do not believe in forgiveness in 2026. Like it's not, you're not allowed to forgive people. And I was like, the movie's kind of shocking. Like Mulder basically says to Scully, like, why can't you forgive this guy? Well, this guy did the worst thing in the world. Are we supposed to forgive people who do the worst thing in the world? Whether we're supposed to forgive them or not forgive them, having a movie bring that subject up is important because it creates dialogue and we need to have dialogue. And that part of the movie hit me differently in a time where we unfriend people and blame people and say that person should die for life for their sins. Care to discuss this topic or
I
no
mean, that
way?
is definitely controversial for sure.
But I mean,
I
did you
don't know if
feel
it's
that? I mean,
necessarily
how did you
really
feel
about
about it?
I don't know if it was necessarily really about like forgiving him though, as it was like believing his side of the story. Like, can we still consider somebody's experiences and visions as credible when they've done things that are like so unforgivable? Like, how can we attach credibility to somebody who's already proven themselves to be not credible?
Well, that's another topic of now that, if someone like is believing what people say and, credibility is a hard thing to come by today. Who do we believe? Who do we turn to for information?
Yeah, and it's like you
Again,
don't
I'm
know. Sorry.
right. No, I was just going to say, I was just the finishing the thought is it's a brave topic that I don't know if it was brave in 2008, but I feel like in 2026 it is a
Yeah.
brave topic to even put that out there. And it sort of landed differently on me, but I feel like it did not it did not land on you in that way.
Well,
And maybe I'm looking too deep.
I feel like it is like it's in line with do you believe this person is really trying to make up for the sins that they committed and the wrongs that they did, or are they just feeding into something else entirely? Like, and that's the question. Like, how do we know whether or not we can trust this person who already has proven they can't be trusted?
But
But I don't
Scully
know.
would not. She hated that guy.
Yeah, I mean, well,
And
look what happened too, because he went to say hi. Didn't work out so well for him.
that, that's true. That's a good point. But I just thought it was interesting how Mulder was quick to forgive, quick to bring, like, put that aside
Yeah,
in a way that Scully wasn't. I'm not sure if we could say if Amanda Peet put it aside or not.
I don't know if we could say that either. She seemed
Yeah,
pretty skeptical at first. They also seemed pretty ready to like pin him as an accomplice when they found out certain connections
right.
to the people involved. Um,
I
which is
just thought the topic of forgiveness, even again, not condoning, I'm not talking about condoning at all, but just the topic within an X-Files is a fascinating thing to me. And I don't think I ever would have thought that if I didn't watch it during the climate that we're living in now, where we're just lied to brazenly and no one is held accountable for anything.
no, it's a good point. It's definitely an interesting time to bring up certain topics.
Yeah. Well, and also the whole pedophilia thing, like
Yeah.
where, like, there was a part of me that thought, how did they let him redo this right now? Like, you would
Yeah.
think this would be a movie, they'd be like, you can't have our main character saying, I want to hear what he has to say anyway. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, I could definitely see where you're coming from on it. But,
I'm trying to see what else I had. One of my complaints I have here was why didn't Scully bring Mulder back? And the moment he wanted to continue, she said it was a mistake to bring him back. I was
yeah,
like,
that was the whole like little back and forth between them, honestly, was definitely feeling a bit pushed. It's like, okay, it's been so long. Yeah, you guys have a lot to feel things about, but like, can we just stop with all the drama? Like, there's a crime at hand. There's a serial killer on the loose. Stay focused.
right. Was there any X-Files in this case at all? Because I mean, so was there a supernatural element in this? Because he even had to have AB negative blood, so it was really like science that was making Frankenstein, right? It
Yeah.
wasn't.
It was more, yeah, it was where science meets supernatural though because of Father Joe. So he was the
Oh,
psychic,
because of the
so
psychic.
just having these visions and leading them closer to finding the killer. And also there was a two-headed dog. That's pretty supernatural.
I don't think it was, but I think they just sewed that
Yeah, that was more
head
science. You're
on.
right.
It was science because that was just a test,
Well, there's always like Russians, I feel like, too, in the
right?
X-Files, so that might be the biggest common thread there. But yeah, the supernatural elements I feel like were kind of condensed and it was more like of a spiritual kind of connection to that supernatural element too,
Hmm.
with just the religion
Um,
involved.
would you say that you are more the skeptic? or the believer?
I ask myself this pretty often. And I do feel like a little mix of both. Like it depends on what kind of day you get me on, I guess. Because some days I'm really skeptical and questioning, and like there has to be a scientific explanation for this. And then other days I'm just willing to believe just about anything. So, and other days I wouldn't be surprised if you told me the craziest thing ever.
Hmm.
So, I don't know. What about you?
Well, I was thinking I am definitely the skeptic when
I
it
can see
comes to
that.
that. And Scully is my favorite character.
Yeah.
That's why I was going to ask you. I wanted to ask you, you the skeptic or the believer? And then who is your favorite character? Is it Scully or Mulder?
Well, it's definitely Scully,
Yeah,
for
me too.
sure. Hands down.
Oh my gosh, Scully is so good. And
Yes.
Mulder's such a dick.
Yeah,
He's
sometimes
a
he is such a dick and I
dick.
get so mad at him. And I do love to make fun of Mulder though a lot
Yeah.
as I'm watching, but I have such a place in my heart for him too. And I can be very like spooky woo woo about my own ways of thinking. Sometimes I am a little bit Mulder, so
Mhm.
I think I carry both of those spirits within. But I do want to believe.
Mm, well, we all want to believe. And then my most superficial note is Scully was always hot.
Yeah,
It doesn't matter
never
if
stop.
you're in the TV series, if you're in this middle movie, if you're in the new X-Files, if you're in
Whatever
season
decade.
one. I mean, Gillian Anderson, how she was beautiful in that movie.
She was. Her hair looked really, really good.
And her skin, and she's
Yeah,
such a great actress.
she's
She is
just,
great in that movie.
yeah. No, she was really good, and I was really feeling for her a lot. Some of the stuff that she was struggling with trying to understand if like she was doing the right thing for her patient or if she was just, feeding too far into her own faith. And
Hmm.
but I felt like it did focus like on a lot of the things that we understand about each of their characters from the series. And it kind of like condensed it and put it into a nice little tangible short film so we could see that in action. But it definitely felt like condensed and like it moved away from like the actual X-Files of it all.
So
Kind
are
of
you mad
felt
they cut the
standalone.
kiss?
Not so much. No, it's always romantic seeing them together, so I get it. They don't need a kiss for it to be romantic. Sometimes
I,
it's,
I
you know.
watched the kiss because I had the old movie and I just pulled it up and I watched that scene and it really didn't add anything.
Yeah,
You actually didn't need it.
yeah, I could see how like the network was probably pushing for that because that's what they've always been pushing for. They're like, well, we need to make this like an official romance for everyone to feel something about. And it's like, you never really needed to do that though, because it was already always there
Right.
without being made a spectacle of it. Like their love and their bond and their trust with each other is just so deep and so intimate already. Like it's like, are there two other people in this world that know each other better than Mulder and Scully? Because I don't know if that exists, you know?
Mhm.
And it's fine as it is. Like, you don't need to push things just to make a spectacle of it. I don't know. I'm not sad about the kiss being cut out.
No, I think it was fine.
I feel like they should have showed Mulder shaving his beard better, though. That I would have been more interested in the scene that that led to that.
I will say I thought his beard looked ridiculous.
It did.
Not that he didn't look good with the beard, but it looks so fake
Yeah.
to me. I
It did
don't
look
know.
a little fake. I I am a part-time barber, so I'm always kind of like zeroing in. I'm like, is that a fake beard or is that real? I can't tell.
And what
And
would you say? To me, it looked fake.
by the end of it, I was thinking it was real.
Hmm.
Like there are a lot of people who have like the mismatched shades, like the beard doesn't match the what's up top. And
Hmm.
that's what he had going on, but it did look pretty ridiculous.
I mean, I thought I was going to be controversial, but you're saying the carpet doesn't match the drapes. And that, I mean, I just want to say that was Tessa who said that, not me. I didn't bring it up.
From a barber's
Um,
point of view.
so I am not watching the X-Files right now. I finished it, I don't know, maybe 6 months to a year ago. I'm not 100% sure. So in watching this, it was nice to see Mulder and Scully. It's sort of like, you're in the middle of a rewatch when you're watching the best season
That is
that
the
there
best
is. So
season.
how was it for you?
And I put it on right after I finished the movie. I was like, now we're in a mood. And I just embraced it. But yeah, that is like seasons 3, 4, 5 are like the best
Oh,
season.
yes. But so I just wondered if you had a different experience because you're in the height of the X-Files. Was it hard to see that Mulder and Scully versus the other Mulder and Scully?
Um, I mean, it wasn't hard. Like I know where it goes, but it was cool to jump around a little bit and then jump back into the best of it, and I'm like, let's backtrack a little bit, see how things ended up where they did. But yeah, I'm excited to actually watch the first movie again because I feel like now that I just saw this one, it'll be kind of cool to backtrack to that because that one is amazing
Oh
as
yeah,
far
the
as I
first one
remember, and I
was
haven't seen it
great.
in a long time, so I'm gonna
Well, you
try to.
gotta watch when you watch the X-Files, do you watch it in the right spot or
Yeah,
do you
because you
skip
gotta
it?
write it. You gotta watch that
Right.
right at the right spot in between. I think it's 5 and
The
6.
end. Yeah,
Yeah.
the one episode is called The End,
Hmm.
and then you
Yeah.
watch Fight for the Future, and then I think the next one might be called The Beginning. I
Yeah.
don't know if that's I could be wrong about the beginning, but
I. Yeah.
it's good. Fight for the Future is
Yeah.
really, really good.
That is so good, and the bees and everything with
Yeah,
that, and that's much more X-Files centric.
right.
Not so standalone. This is a standalone movie.
Which I don't mind. That's not
Yeah.
why it's not good. It's the problem with it are they whine about the X-Files and they're not together, and we want to see
Yeah.
them investigating. I did see Chris Carter on another podcast. Why he isn't on our podcast, I don't know because we would have good questions for him.
I'm sure
But
he'll be
he's
calling soon.
yeah, but probably he's calling right now. But he says he has an idea for a third movie and he's pitching it as we speak, which I've
Oh.
never heard him say before. I didn't realize he wanted to make a third movie.
I mean, that would be really cool. I would be into that. And I know that there's like the whole new season with Ryan Coogler coming out, and that David Duchovny and Gillian Anderson just announced that they're going to be a part of that. So maybe there's room for revival. There's a huge following for it, so I'm sure no one would be mad about it.
So if I had never seen The X-Files and you were like, you got to come over and you got to watch one episode, what episode of The X-Files are you going to put on to convince me to watch the show?
Oh boy, that's a great question. There's a few that I could pick, but I don't know. I might have to say a modern Prometheus.
Hmm,
That's just a great, incredible episode. It's a standalone episode, but
definitely.
like it gives you enough of all of the different sides of things that are brought to life, and it's like so campy and funny and just that episode's a masterpiece. I love that one so much.
It's one of those I compare it to like watching the Gilmore Girls where you just smile, which is a
Yeah,
weird thing to do during an X-Files, but
yeah,
you do
yeah.
smile
And it's
in it.
also like so dark, but
Yeah.
like but also you're feeling so good from it. Even though it's gets really creepy actually and deals with some very sensitive topics.
Yes. I would do Clyde Bruckman's Final Repose
That is great. Yeah.
because that one is definitely self-contained.
Hmm.
But it is creepy as well, and you really get Mulder, you really get Scully
Yeah, that
in
is
there.
such a good one. Uh,
If I wasn't gonna pick a Darren Morgan one, you know what episode that I really enjoyed on my rewatch was the Bryan Cranston one when he was in the
ah,
car.
yeah,
I
that
don't
one
know the
is
name of
so
that one.
good. I know exactly what episode you're talking about, and that one is really, really good.
Yeah, especially for a later one where they're
Yeah,
not as standalone and successful at it.
yeah.
That was a great episode.
That was, and his acting in it was just great. Like he really gave it all his all, and he just got so emotional in it. And then you're going back through time throughout the episode, so you're kind of filling in the gaps along the way. That episode is really good.
Yeah. So I don't know. That's one that stands alone. And then if you hate the person, you would show them home.
Yeah. Yeah, if you hate them, you show them that one for sure.
I didn't even rewatch that. I'll be honest, I didn't even rewatch it on this
Yeah,
rewatch because I'm like, I do not need that in my brain right now.
I just watched it like pretty recently, and I was like, oh
And
yeah.
did it creep you the heck out?
Yep, I was like, definitely see why this was banned. But
Yeah.
I'm glad they unbanned it. It's important.
No, I mean, it is a classic and you
Yeah.
should experience it. But if that was your first episode of X-Files, you would die.
Yeah.
You really should not
Definitely.
start there. Well, thank you so much for doing this with me because I never thought I would watch that movie again. And I have to say, I'm really glad I did. I hope that it will be released on DVD because all of the X-Files had been released. And I know we live in a time where no one cares about physical media, but if they do care about physical media, go out to Tucker DS Press and get The Truth Is Still Out There. This is not written by me, it's by Beth Ann Jones. She wrote it for our company, and it looks back at the whole X Files. Also, don't forget about the Double R Dream coming out on Blu-ray soon. Uh-oh. It's about me working at the Double R Diner and my new Wild at Heart book. All
Yeah.
of this is available at bluerosemag.com. So support your local huckster. So thanks for joining me
Thank
today.
you for having me, and I hope
And
you have a good week. I'm so excited for the book. I can't wait for the new Wild at Heart book.
it's going to be exciting. So, and maybe we'll be back with the third X-Files. We don't know.
That would be phenomenal. I would love
All
that.
right. So until next time, that was your time with Scott Ryan.